Motherwell appoint a new boss. Tavernier is apparently good enough for a top 6 club in England. And can Dundee United go through in tonight's Europa Conference League qualifier? Welcome back, guys, to Fulg Football TV. We're scraping the barrel here. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel. We're desperate for news. We're desperate for anything to make a video on, and we've managed to pluck up a few interesting things that have happened. But overall, it has been a very quiet week in Scottish football. Even though we had the big games at the weekend and we had the big European matches, obviously Rangers all night and Dundee United tonight, it doesn't seem like a lot's been happening in Scottish football lately, especially in the transfer market. We did have Boyle returning to go to Hibs, but I mean, apart from that, it has been very, very quiet for the past couple of weeks. So I don't know if teams are waiting to later on in the market, transfer deadline day, or maybe the teams are done. Maybe they're not going to make any more adjustments to their squads. But I do think it's a bit weird how we haven't heard any news on like transfers or anything like that. But news that we do have is Stephen Hammell has been given the Motherwell job on a permanent basis. I think it is fair to call Stephen Hammell a Motherwell legend. Come on, I mean, he was there, what, in total about 16, maybe not 16 years, but about 14 years, 13 years. Obviously joined them back in the late 99-2000 season. He played all the way up to 2005-2006 season. Then he left to go to Southend United for a couple of years, then decided to come back to Motherwell after that, and he played on throughout until the 2017-2018 season. So I mean, overall, a lot of years spent with Motherwell. I think he made about over 500 appearances for Motherwell. So again, you know, that is epic. He is Motherwell's highest appearance record player of all time. He's made the most appearances out of any Motherwell player. So in my opinion, yeah, there's no doubt that he's a Motherwell legend, just basically due to longevity alone. Plus, don't forget, I mean, he was at Motherwell when they had that period when they were like the second best team in Scotland. You remember Rangers kind of got sent flying in the divisions. Before there was Aberdeen, there was actually Motherwell. There was a few seasons where Motherwell were, you know, the best of the rest. I think in the 2011-12 season, they were third, then got pushed up to second because the Rangers getting relegated. Then the next season, they finished second as well. So, yeah, no, Motherwell are, you know, they were pretty good at that period, and Stephen Hammell did play a decent part in that role. But whether or not he deserves the manager job full-time, I don't see it, man. He's played 2 games as the manager of Motherwell, and he's got 1 win and 1 loss, and we need to look at it here. The 1 win was a game against St Mirren, who, let's be real, are one of the weaker sides in the league, and they only won that game due to a penalty and a Liam Kelly fucking masterclass. So I don't think you can give Stephen Hammell much credit for that win. And then his second game, they lost to St Johnstone, arguably the worst team in the league. So I just don't see it. Motherwell, in my opinion, have played the 2 sides I expect them to be battling with in relegation. And while they did pick up 1 win, they were very fortunate to pick up that win. You know, like I said, mainly due to Liam Kelly. So I don't think Stephen Hammell has done enough to get this job. Now, a lot of Motherwell fans seem to be happy that he's got the job. And I get it. You might like him. You might in your heart, you might think it's a good move. But in my head, I think Stephen Hammell, this to me means I think Motherwell could get relegated. I mean, I thought they would maybe get relegated, but depending on who they brought in. I don't see Stephen Hammell coming in and changing things up drastically. Instead, I could see Motherwell getting worse. So, for me, I do think Stephen Hammell will be a failure at Motherwell. That's my opinion. We'll wait and see what happens, guys. Let us know what you think down below. Now, Jim Duffy has come out. Jim Duffy, former Dundee manager, the bald napper, has come out and says that Tavernier is good enough to play for a top 6 side in England. And he says when you look at Man United's £69 million worth of right backs, he says that James Tavernier is better than both Dalot and Wan Bissaka. And you know what? I agree with Jim Duffy. Numbers alone, James Tavernier's better. The amount of assists and goals he's got, and it's not just penalties. Let's not just pretend that the guy never scores from open play. He does. Even free kicks. I know he is a set-piece specialist, but he does score from the odd goal from open play. He scored some screamers, actually, from open play. But he is so dangerous on set balls as well, and that just shows how good he is. I mean, when does he miss a penalty? I could not tell you the last time Tav missed a penalty, if we're being honest. And I look at what Man United have got, and yeah, no, I would have to say that I think Tavernier is 100% good enough for Man United. He would start 100% for me. He would start over Wan Binkasa, who has done absolutely nothing. The guy had one decent year at Crystal Palace, and all of a sudden, with the Premier League inflation and the way that league's overrated, somehow one good season means that you're worth 50 million. Nah, fucking bullshit, no chance. I think Tavernier is better than Wan Bissaka. So yeah, that might be controversial, but let us know what you think down below. And as for Dundee United tonight, are they going to go through? You know what? My head's telling me no. My head's telling me that AC Alkmaar will get a comfortable win tonight. But my heart says yes. I looked at the first game, and I thought the 1-0 flattered AZ. Yeah, they had chances towards the end. They were getting like shots away, but the majority of them were blocked. They didn't really create any good opportunities. Whereas I think Dundee United could have found themselves a little bit unlucky that they did not have a bigger lead than 1-0. So yeah, no, I think Dundee United thoroughly deserved that 1-0 lead. Can they hold on tonight? It depends. Will they go at AC Alkmaar, will they try and take the game to them, or will they sit back? I think they should go for it. I do not think sitting back and then fighting AC Alkmaar, a team with their quality, to come onto it is a good idea. The likelihood of you holding it for 90 minutes isn't great. So, I mean, if I was Dundee United, I would just take the game the same way they did last week. I would try and settle in straight from the get-go, take the game to AC Alkmaar, and if they can grab an early goal, then maybe you can sit back. But I don't think you can defend a 1-0 lead for 90 minutes. That's my opinion. I don't think it would be smart to do that. I mean, Jack Ross could get the game plan right. Dundee United could pull off like a defensive masterclass and get a 0-0 draw and go through. But in my opinion, it's going to be unrealistic that they do that. I think Dundee United are going to have to score tonight to go through. So for me, they may as well go out. They've got attacking flair. You think of like Tony Watt and Fletcher. Those guys can score goals. You've got Glenn Middleton, who we all know is a solid player. You've got Levitt in the midfield, who can fucking create opportunities pass. You've got Jamie McGrath. I don't know if he'll start tonight, but another player. I mean, Dundee United have really good players going forward that can either score or create chances. So I want to see a lot of that tonight, and hopefully they do it, guys. Hopefully Dundee United bring it home for Scotland. But anyway, that's it. Just a quick video here. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.